Hello my lovely friends, welcome to my channel, Paper Happinessity with Monica. My name is Monica Formosa and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the White Bay area of Queensland on the east coast of Australia. Today I've got this fabulous challenge from INKspiration, challenge 197. We are edging closer to number 200 and we're hoping to have do something just a little bit different with everyone. But anyway, that's in the future. Let's just work on what I've got today. I'm pre-recording this quite far in advance because I do expect to be on holiday when this goes live. And if not, well, it's a bonus. I'll have it done and dusted. Quite a very classic color palette. This would have to be a top favorite of mine. The blues and the vanillas, the creams, the beiges, the crumb cakes. It's just such a classic color scheme to work with. I don't know how else to put it. I can remember when I did my first overseas trip, bloomin' 35 years ago, that was my color scheme, navy and cream, and that was my capsule wardrobe colors, you know, because I knew that my jeans were blue. I could wear whatever with my jeans and I just went with that. All my clothes were all this color. But anyway, I'm digressing. So this is our color scheme. I'll show you my card. This is the card. Lots of layers, but they are glued down. They're not, apart from the sentiment, I'll get it in a minute, apart from the sentiment and the pearls, everything is pretty much flat. Now that's not saying that if you're inspired by what I do today, you can add a little bit extra dimension. That is totally up to you. Okay, the papers that I've used come from the Peaceful Garden 12 by 12. These are gorgeous paper. I will admit I probably bought these more for the B sides than the A sides, but that's how I roll with Stampin' Up papers. And it's great that they do that. I will say that they have a more bolder pattern on one side and then a more subtle watercolory geometric kind of design on the reverse side. Okay, so for this I only used one ink and that was Night of Navy. I did have my other ones out on my desk, but I didn't use them. What have I got here? It is quite product heavy, but that's not to say, and I basically used what was in my stash, to tell you the truth. I didn't go out and buy anything extra. So I did have the Peace on Earth suite. So you get the stamp set, the embossing folder, and it's a 3D embossing folder, and the dies. And then I also purchased the papers because I loved the colors in those papers. So that's that. I've used the Stylish Shapes dies for the two circles here and here. Use whatever circle dies you've got, honestly. So on this one, what I used is the large tag or label die for that one. Textured note stamp set I used for the stamping on the white circle. I use this guy here. Just have a look in your stash and see what other leafy kind of images you have. And then because I needed a congratulations card, I have an event coming up that I needed a congratulations card for. I grabbed the Sunrise Sailing, and because I just love the font in this one. But honest to goodness, you could use any of these that are in these stamp sets, or just have a look in your stash and just work out something if you've got an occasion coming up or an event. The other thing is that, you know, you can make a card and just leave it blank. But any of these, like, I kind of like, if you wanted to go across sending love, wishing you love, peace, love and joy would be a nice one for Christmas. Okay, so don't forget about that. All right, let's go through what you're going to need. You'll need a basic white card base. You'll need a piece of basic white, and that's been trimmed down. So it's an 1/8 of an inch smaller. An 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card front. You'll need, whoops, hold on a moment. I'm dropping things here. There we go. Let me see. Where's all my dies? Okay, I've got things here everywhere. I'm just trying to get these. So you need your card base, your matte layer, which you'll need to emboss. You'll need a scrap of blue, Night of Navy, and that will die cut this, and then 2 of those. So you need 2 of those, and your label. Okay. But first this goes in underneath on your, so that will go there. And then you die cut your pieces here. You'll also need, I don't have it, a scrap of Misty Moonlight, just big enough to do the small. So it is the smallest one. So it's the smallest. And then this circle here is the middle one, no, it's not the middle, it's the third largest. And then the smallest for the Misty Moonlight one that's going on up in that corner. You'll also need, yes, a piece of white, which is what that's for. Okay, so you've got this, I had a piece of Misty Moonlight out. Yeah, here it is. This is the one I cut out my first one with. All right, so a little piece of Misty Moonlight. That's what you're going to need for your die cutting. Misty Moonlight, basic white, Night of Navy. And you'll also need a strip of this, and I don't have that out. Let me see. I thought I had everything ready to go, and I don't, but that's okay. Let me tidy up here. I need my paper trimmer. Let me just put all this away because I'm going to lose them. Go over there. Paper trimmer. All right, so I need a strip of this. Let me see how wide that is. And that is 1.5 inches. And I'm sure you can hear all the birds outside my window today. I'm not actually sure what happened to spring here, because boy oh boy, I think we had 2 days of spring and it's gone straight to summer. And I'll admit, I don't really like the warm weather that much. Okay, so we need a strip of that. This strip here, I will tell you right now, is 3 inches. And this one is, that was 1.5 inches. And I've just cut them to 6. We'll just trim them off and you scrap. We don't need that because I have a packet here somewhere with all my bits and pieces. Oh. Already done. I do need to die cut another Night of Navy twig. All right. So, all right, I will admit right here, right now, that this card is actually the US card size. Is it A2? I'm not quite sure. So this one measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'll explain why. The embossing folders, unfortunately, because the US and North American market is so much bigger than what we have here in Australia, South Pacific and Europe, where we do metric. Not that I create in metric, but the embossing folders, if I can find it, I don't know whether I need it actually, but I'll explain to you. The embossing folders are made more to the A2 size, and I'll explain why. This is the A2 size, and this is our Australian size. And what happens, I'm not sure whether the camera will pick this up, but what happens when we cut down our layers, you have this extra bit on the top and it's narrower, which means you're cutting off the edges and it's not totally centered on your piece of cardstock. Whereas when you're using A2, it's more centered. So originally I did an A2 size, but this time, just to show you the difference, I will make one that's to our cardstock size. And in saying that, I am a little bit naughty and I go totally custom and trim my length down. This length, height, anyway, this measurement here for me is always 5 3/4, and I do that because that way my brain can remember my layers a little bit easier. I'm not dealing with the teeny tiny 1/8 and all that sort of stuff. Right, okay, so in saying that, I'm not going to need that. I've got my, that's already embossed, and that has been trimmed down so that I have a teeny 1/8 or 1/16 of a border. So that's a 1/8 on 2 sides, smaller than my card base. We're going to glue this down and we'll trim that off because that's way too, I just trimmed that down to, when I cut it, it's like 6 inches, and we'll trim that down. We're going to add this guy here like this, and we're going to stick him down like that. We're going to ink blend in the center of there and stamp, and he's going to go here, and we're going to put that up in there. I need another one of these guys, and of course I've already stamped my greeting, and I might actually leave that one blank, but I've stamped it, and we're going to glue that on like that, and I will just trim that down a little bit smaller, and I'm going to glue that on. I kind of offset it just a little bit. Have a little bit of the crumb cake poking poking out. If you wanted to, you can put a little bit of, and I like to have, I just made this one a little bit larger. For those with OCD, you can definitely trim that down so it's even on both sides, but I just kind of liked, I just thought it balanced it a little bit more. And in fact, it might need to come down anyway because it's too wide. All right. Let me die cut another piece of that foliage, and let's hope that I can find my die. Yep, there we go. I'll get my little. Just put that out the road. This is my little mini. I don't use him very often, but he does come in handy. If I've got to do a lot of die cutting, I kind of use my bigger one, and I can do it all together in one pass. I apologise for the wobbles. All right, he can go out there. He can go here. Might take a pick tool. Oops. Don't seem to be very organised today, even though I thought I was. There we go. So I'm going to put him in my box. The other thing you will need is a blending brush. I might just leave you here because you're going to, might need you again. All right. So card base, and I'm just going to get my bone folder and gently persuade it to sit down properly. All right, so for here, we're just going to layer this up. Once you get all your pieces together, it really doesn't take that long to go together. You can use your grid paper if you're liking to get it straight. There we go. And then yeah, this side. Now there is like a little bit of a beveled edge. It's quite elegant, really. And we're going to, so we're going to put this here. And it's about halfway. Not halfway, but halfway when you put your strip down, tuck it under, so it's like halfway. We can glue this down. Not sure whether there's a right or a wrong with this, and it gets glued down so it covers your label, half your label. All right, and now we can trim those off. I'm going to use my little mini guillotine. Unfortunately, you can't get these anymore. You might be able to pick them up secondhand, but they are pretty scarce. All right, so there's that section. I need to now add a little bit of ink to the center of that, and I really like, we need to really go gently here, and it's probably a little bit too much, but anyway, turn it around. Got a bit of a bald spot in there. That's all right. That will do. While my ink pad is out, I'm going to stamp, and we're going to use second generation. So we're going to stamp off, and we're going to so that's our stamping there done. That's that done. Right, now I'm going to just add glue to the center of this. And, oops, and I'll explain why, because I want to be able to tuck my other circle in. Now I'm going to bring that down, and I'm going to place this equal between this edge and my label. Now this guy, we're just going to stick him kind of up there like that. Now for these ones, what you could have done is use the adhesive sheets and stuck down that onto your cardstock before die cutting, and that would have been a clever thing to do. But I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to each of these leaves. I kind of want a little bit of my circle peeking out. Oh. So, and there's really no right or wrong with this. I think I went straighter with him, the first one. I've gone opposite to what I've got on my original card, but that's okay. And then my sentiment will go across there like that, right? And that's pretty much it. Now, if you wanted to decorate the inside of your card, you can add a little bit of the DSP that we've used, the same DSP. And then this guy, I'm not, can I just, where are my dimensionals? And what I'll do is I'll just take the middle one off, just so that you can see. All right, and I haven't pressed down that too hard. And then last but not least, somewhere in my little kit here, I have pearls. Now this suite does come with, oh, let me see if I can find them off the top of my head here with all my bits and pieces. They do come with these lovely, so they come, I haven't even opened these, that's a bit rude. Hues of blue flowers. And while they are very pretty, you have 4 colors there. So you've got Night of Navy, or this might be Secret Sea, Misty Moonlight, Balmy Blue, and White. Really didn't quite match my occasion on this time round, but very pretty. And I just wanted the classic pearls because we've got such a classic color scheme going on here. I thought, you know what, let's just go with pearls again. All right, so I've got my congratulations there. going to here, a bigger one, and then another. You can put as many or as few as you like. Odd numbers by design principle are the best, but you do you, honestly. If you prefer having things a little bit symmetrical, that's fine. All right, I'm not going to bother about putting that up. Okay. So can you see the size difference here for my lovely friends that are overseas, not in the South Pacific? We have a narrower and longer, and then this guy is the A2 US size. It is shorter but wider. I'm not quite sure which I prefer. You just need to adjust things, like spread things out just a little bit further when you're doing our sized cards. But that's it from me. Please do, if you're not a part of the Colour INKspiration Facebook group, if you're inspired by what I've shown today and would like to participate in our challenge, I'll have the link to the group in my description box underneath this video. You'll need to click on more and then find more again and click on that, and it'll have all the information there. There'll be a link to the Facebook group. If you're not already a member, we do ask you to answer some security questions just so that we know that you are who you say you are, because we're a little bit particular about who we let in. Joking, no. We just don't want all those nasty bots that it seem to be popping up every now and again. The other thing is just post your cards straight to the wall. You do need to use all the colors unless it's specified. And we also do allow neutrals like black and white and vanilla, metallics, silver, gold, copper, and what else do we allow? Oh, the blends pens. You can use the natural tones in the Stampin Blends. The alcohol markers, we allow that. But anyway, yes, and we're a very creative bunch of demonstrators from the South Pacific, I will say. And then we've had a couple of artisans, and we've still got a couple of artisans in our team, and we've had artisans join us from other areas of the globe as well. So it's really nice that we're getting our name out there and people are enjoying the challenge of using different colors, which is how I found Colour INKspiration. I wanted to expand my, I was tired of using the same old colors all the time. I felt I was going to the same color palette, and I just thought, no, you know what, let's just try something different, something new. So I started doing Colour INKspirations. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much to everyone for joining me. I do appreciate your time. Please give me a thumbs up. It's a great way of supporting my little paper craft business. And if you have friends who you think might be also inspired by what I have created today, please share. And if you think you might like to find me quickly in the future, subscribing is the best way to do it, because that way it will come up in your little notifications, and click on that little all notifications bell, because that will definitely get you watching my videos again in the future. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much, and see you again next time. Bye.